for August 7th. This meeting is held in compliance with the provisions of the the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 9:4-6 et sec. Annual notice has been forwarded to the New Jersey Herald and the Daily Record. It was posted on the bulletin board maintained in the municipal building for public announcements. The roll call, please.
Mr. Huffercamp.
Here.
Ms. Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Roberts is absent. Ms. Rodriguez.
Here.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Smith is absent. Mayor Galante.
Here. If you will all stand. And girls, if you would lead us in the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. We do have proclamations this evening, which are always fun. We have our Girl Scouts that are here for their bronze awards. So girls, I'm gonna call you up one at a time and we're gonna read your proclamation. And then if you can just stand off to my right, this way you can get a picture at the end for you, okay? So our first one that we have here is Madison Howell. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities and successes and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Madison Howell from Girl Scout Troop 97849 has been awarded the Girl Scout Bronze Award on June 18, 2024 for her contribution in learning about the safety and responsibilities of camping and exploring animal habitats. And whereas the Girl Scout Bronze Award is the highest award a junior scout can earn and recognizes Madison's commitment to excellence for her leadership abilities, organizational skills, and determination to bring a project from conception to completion. And whereas Madison collaborated with the other girls in her troop on how they could use their understanding of the outdoors and animal habitats to help our local community. The troop took a tour of the local animal shelter as part of their project, where they helped weed and beautify the outdoor garden at the shelter. They worked on making blankets for the animals and learned about color-coded ribbons in which describes a dog's need and temperament. The troop helped spread the word about the color-coded ribbons to the community, placing an emphasis on the yellow ribbon, which means a dog is nervous around other people and animals, or that the dog is looking for its forever home. Lastly, the troop collected pet donation items so they could create take-home kits for the animals for when they get adopted. And whereas Madison's endeavor demonstrated that she is an amazing young lady and an outstanding leader capable of doing great things for her community. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcong, do hereby proclaim August 10th, 2024 as Madison Howell Day. Next proclamation is Michaela Miranda. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Michaela Miranda from Girl Scout Troop 97849 has been awarded the Girl Scout Bronze Award on June 18, 2024 for her contribution in learning about the safety and responsibilities of camping and exploring animal habitats. And whereas the Girl Scout Bronze Award is the highest award a junior Girl Scout can earn and recognizes Michaela's commitment to excellence for her leadership abilities, organizational skills, and determination to bring a project from conception to completion. Whereas Michaela collaborated with the other girls in her troop on how they could use their understanding of the outdoors and animal habitats to help our local community. The troop took a tour of the local animal shelter as part of their project, where they helped weed and beautify the outdoor garden. They worked on making blankets for the animals. The troop helped spread the word about the color-coded ribbons to the community, placing an emphasis on the yellow ribbon, which means the dog is nervous around other people, and that the dog is looking for its forever home. Lastly, the troop collected pet donation items so they could create take-home kits for the animals for when they get adopted. And whereas Michaela's endeavor demonstrated that she is an amazing young lady and an outstanding leader capable of doing great things for her community. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcong, do hereby proclaim August 11th, 2024 as Michaela Miranda Day. Chloe Dower. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Chloe Dower from Girl Scout Troop 97849 has been awarded the Girl Scout Bronze Award on June 18th, 2024 for her contribution in learning about the safety and responsibilities of camping and exploring animal habitats. And whereas the Girl Scout Bronze Award is the highest award a junior Girl Scout can earn and recognizes Chloe's commitment to excellence for her leadership skills, organizational skills, and determination to bring a project from conception to completion. And whereas Chloe collaborated with other girls in her troop on how they could use their understanding of the outdoors and animal habitats to help our local community, the troop took a tour of the local animal shelter as part of their project, where they helped weed and beautify the outdoor garden of the shelter. They worked on making blankets for the animals. The troop helped spread the word about the color-coded ribbons in the community, placing an emphasis on the yellow ribbon, which means a dog is nervous around other people or that the dog is looking for its forever home. Lastly, the troop collected pet donation items so they could create take-home kits for the animals for when they get adopted. And whereas Chloe's endeavor demonstrated that she is an amazing young lady and an outstanding leader capable of doing great things for her community. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcong, do hereby proclaim August 12th, 2024 as Chloe Dower Day. Addison Light. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Addison Light from Girl Scout Troop 97849 has been awarded the Girl Scout Bronze Award on June 18, 2024 for her contribution in learning about the safety and responsibilities of camping and exploring animal habitats. And whereas the Girl Scout Bronze Award is the highest award a junior Girl Scout can earn and recognizes Addison's commitment to excellence for her leadership abilities, organizational skills, and determination to bring a project from conception to completion. And whereas Addison collaborated with other girls in her troop on how they could use their understanding of the outdoors and animal habitats to help our local community. The troop took a tour of the local animal shelter as part of their project where they helped weed and beautify the outdoor garden at the shelter. They worked on making blankets for the animals. The troop helped spread the word about the color-coded ribbons to the community, placing an emphasis on the yellow ribbon, which means the dog is nervous around other people and animals, or that the dog is looking for its forever home. Lastly, the troop collected pet donation items so they could create take-home kits for the animals for when they get adopted. And whereas Addison's endeavor demonstrated that she is an amazing young lady, an outstanding leader, capable of doing great things for her community. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcong, do hereby proclaim August 13th, 2024 as Addison Light Day. Sophia Tucker. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Sophia Tucker from Girl Scout Troop 97849 has been awarded the Girl Scout Bronze Award on June 18, 2024 for her contribution in learning about the safety and responsibilities of camping and exploring animal habitats. And whereas the Girl Scout Bronze Award is the highest award a junior Girl Scout can earn and recognizes Sophia's commitment to excellence for her leadership abilities, organizational skills, and determination to bring a project from conception to completion. And whereas Sophia collaborated with the other girls in her troop on how they could use their understanding of the outdoors and animal habitats to help our local community. The troop took a tour of our local animal shelter as part of the project where they helped weed and beautify the outdoor garden of the shelter. The troop helped spread the word about the color-coded ribbons to the community, placing an emphasis on the yellow ribbon, which means the dog is nervous around other people and animals, or that the dog is looking for its forever home. Lastly, the troop collected pet donation items so they could create take-home kits for the animals for when they get adopted. And whereas Sophia's endeavor demonstrated that she is an amazing young lady and an outstanding leader, capable of doing great things for her community. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcon, do hereby proclaim August 14th, 2024 as Sophia Tucker Day. Victoria Garcia. Whereas the strength and the future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Victoria Garcia from Girl Scout Troop 97849 has been awarded the Girl Scout Bronze Award on June 18, 2024 for her contribution in learning about the safety and responsibilities of camping and exploring animal habitats. And whereas the Girl Scout Bronze Award is the highest award a junior Girl Scout can earn and recognizes Victoria's commitment to excellence for her leadership abilities, organizational skills, and determination to bring a project from conception to completion. And whereas Victoria collaborated with the other girls in her troop on how they could use their understanding of the outdoors and animal habitats to help our local community. The troop took a tour of the local animal shelter as part of their project, where they helped weed and beautify the outdoor garden of the shelter. The troop helped spread the word about the color-coded ribbons to the community, placing emphasis on the yellow ribbon, which means a dog is nervous around other people and animals, or that the dog is looking for its forever home. Lastly, the troop collected pet donation items so they could create take-home kits for the animals for when they get adopted. And whereas Victoria's endeavor demonstrated that she is an amazing young lady and an outstanding leader, capable of doing great things for her community. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcon, do hereby proclaim August 15th, 2024 as Victoria Garcia Day. We do have one more which seemed to have missed the agenda, but we do have the proclamation. And that is for Evelyn Morgan. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Evelyn Morgan from Girl Scout Troop 97849 has been awarded the Girl Scout Bronze Award on June 18, 2024 for her contribution in learning about the safety and responsibilities of camping and exploring animal habitats. And whereas the Girl Scout Bronze Award is the highest award a junior scout can earn and recognizes Evelyn's commitment to excellence for her leadership abilities, organizational skills, and determination to bring a project from conception to completion. And whereas Evelyn collaborated with the other girls in her troop on how they could use their understanding of the outdoors and animal habitats to help our local community. The troop took a tour of the local animal shelter as part of their project, where they helped weed and beautify the outdoor garden at the shelter. They worked on making blankets for the animals and learned about color-coded ribbons in which describes the dog's needs and temperament. The troop helped spread the word about the color-coded ribbons to the community, placing an emphasis on the yellow ribbon, which means the dog is nervous around other people and animals, or that the dog is looking for its forever home. Lastly, the troop collected pet donation items so they could create take-home kits for the animals for when they get adopted. And whereas Evelyn's endeavor demonstrated that she is an amazing young lady, an outstanding leader, capable of doing great things for her community. In witness whereof, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcon, do hereby proclaim August 16, 2024 as Evelyn Morgan Day. Much better, much better. Stop.
What are you doing? Yeah. We're in all the pictures.
Thank you so much. Round of applause. Welcome to stay. Our next set of proclamations. Our next set of proclamations is for our winners for the Miss Hopatcon contest. I know that John is here. John Young, where did John Young go?
Over there, on the right.
John, do you want to do a brief overview of the pageant and what it's about before we give them out?
Okay,
You know a little bit more about it than I do. I can always read the proclamations, but you're,
well, the pageant for the last, I'm gonna say 15 years, I think, has been run by and sponsored by the Hopatcong Warriors Youth Football Program. Actually, I was on Recreation when the Recreation Commission picked it up. And there was a gap of maybe 10 years where we didn't have it. And then, like I said, about 15 years ago, the Warriors started to sponsor it. And we actually have 6 categories. We have Mini Miss, Mini Mister, Little Miss, Little Mister, and then Junior Miss and Miss Hopatcong. And we do it, this year we actually moved it up a little bit because of the holidays. It's hard to do it in July after July 4th because Miss Hopatcong has to compete in Queen of the Fair at the county fair, which was last Saturday, so there's not a lot of time there. So we moved it up into June, right after school was out, and we also moved it back to the auditorium this year. COVID, 2020, we did not have it. 2021 and 22 and 23, we did it outside, but as we all know, you can't predict the weather, and 2 of those years it rained. So again, and Mini Miss and Mini Mister are 5 to 7, Little Miss and Little Mister are 8 to 12, Junior Miss is 13 to 16, and Miss Hopatcong is 17 to 21.
very good, thank you. Much better an impromptu than I would have. So I greatly appreciate it. So we have 2 of our winners here this evening. Our first one that we have is Little Mr. Hopatcong, Nathan Stack. Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Nathan Strack attended Hopatcong Middle School, where he has been on the honor roll every marking period. He is a natural born leader, and it reflects in his athletics. He is a quarterback, point guard, and catcher. His true passion is football, and he can't wait to be a Chief. And whereas on June 21st, 2024, Nathan Strack was crowned the 2024 Little Mr. Hopatcong and proudly represented our borough at the New Jersey State Fair. And whereas Nathan Strack possesses those qualities which the borough wishes to applaud and recognize, we would like to congratulate Nathan on his outstanding accomplishments. Now, therefore, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcong, hereby proclaim August 8th, 2024 as Nathan Strack Day. And then we have our Mini Miss Hopatcong, Madison.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so cute. They're both adorable.
Whereas the strength and future of a community are reflected in the activities, successes, and accomplishments of its citizens. And whereas Madison Alvet is a 6 years old and is going into the 1st grade at Durbin Ave. She loves to learn as much as possible, especially math. While she is very involved with dance, she also enjoys singing and playing with her friends and her cousins, arts and crafts, and swimming. This year, she is excited to try out T-ball for the fall. And whereas on June 21st, 2024, Madison Alver was crowned the 2024 Mini Miss Hopatcong and proudly represented our borough at the New Jersey State Fair. And whereas Madison Alver possesses those qualities which the borough wishes to applaud and recognize, we would like to congratulate Madison on her outstanding accomplishments. Now, therefore, I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcong, hereby proclaim August 9th, 2024 as Madison Alver Day. For all of you that are here that are receiving a day that is yours, you know that we do put it on the electronic sign out front. So I do suggest going out when you have the opportunity, get your parents to come and take your picture when your name comes up, and then you can have your picture in the background. Very good. You're welcome to stay for our meeting if you'd like to, girls, and if you would like to do something else this evening, you're more than welcome to do that. You all have to stay. He was looking down the aisle. Here.
I want that dress.
Which one?
The little blue dress, the little gown.
What about the
I
tiara?
can't see it.
She has her tiara.
I have the tiara.
Sorry, Rach.
They all do.
My mom's a hairdresser. Tiaras were for every hairstyle.
Okay, moving along, we're gonna do our committee reports. Would you like to start, Ms. Rodriguez?
Sure. All right, starting off with the police department. Just pull up my notes here, I apologize. I want to congratulate Sergeant Ed Janasco on his retirement from the Borough Copacan Police Department today. I want to thank him for his years of service to our country as a Navyman and to our community over the last 24 years. He will be greatly missed within the police department and in the building overall. I'd also like to congratulate Patrolman Zabita, who is picked as Tom Kane's law enforcement hometown hero on July 31st. Patrol Officer Zabita was involved in 2 life-saving incidents in the last 2 years. In 2022, Patrolman Zabita assisted in removing a man from his submerged vehicle. He aided in CPR and AED to keep the patient alive until he was flown to the hospital. The second incident occurred in 2023 when Patrolman Zabita helped remove a combative homeowner from a structural fire. Patrolman Zabita shows up every day and goes above and beyond to help save lives. We extend our gratitude to Patrolman Zabita for his hard work and dedication to keeping our community safe. Fire department, we have nothing to report from Chief 1. Going over to EMS, we'd like to welcome Nick and Naomi to the Hoboken EMS. They do have, it looks like they are rapidly growing. They have more interviews lined up. A lot of people are joining, so please, anybody, if you want to join the EMS squad, don't hesitate to call the Captain Rob Hour. They ended July with 557 calls for the year with an average response time of 8.62 minutes from 911 call to arriving on scene and a transport rate of 68.58%. Going over to celebration of events, we will be scheduling a call or a meeting to discuss the remainder of the town events for the year as a committee, so we can, plan everything that's going to be going on for the remainder of this year. So please keep an eye out on your emails. The Sussex County Fair runs until August 10th. It's been very rainy, so it really hasn't been great weather. Concert in the park has been canceled for Saturday. The 9/11 ceremony will be on Wednesday, September 11th at 6 p.m. So stay tuned for more details on that. Sussex County Day is Sunday, August 15th at the Sussex County Fairgrounds. Some may notice there's a new theme of little libraries that have been coming around town. The first one is at Company 4. Lisa Cremando has been maintaining these. These are not maintained by the town or by the fire departments themselves. So the theme of this one is honoring our heroes, I believe it is, or I'm sorry, always look for the helpers. So these are a thank you to our first responders in the community. If you have a donation for a book that you'd like to drop off, please make sure it fits in the box. Don't leave them outside. Don't drop them off at the fire department. Again, they don't maintain them. I'd like to congratulate the Queen of the Fair contestants. Miss Hopacan, Angeline Carty, did an absolutely amazing job. She looked absolutely beautiful. If it were up to us, she would have been named Queen of the Fair, but she did us all very, very proud. And all the girls there looked absolutely beautiful. So congratulations to the 2024 Queen of the Fair, Miss Lafayette Chaya Ortega. I'd like to thank Congressman Keene Jr. for visiting the Borough of Hopacan last week to see firsthand some of the neighborhoods that would benefit from the lead line replacement funding if we were to get that. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the Board of Ed President Nicole Falcone Schubert, who's with us tonight, who's taking time to present the facts about what is happening within our community in relation to the school board. So thank you. And that's all.
Thank you. Ms. Smith?
I would like to congratulate all the Girl Scouts. It's a tremendous accomplishment. My family and my husband's family were both involved in scouting, so I definitely want to thank the leaders most importantly and the parents, because without them, these girls wouldn't have the wonderful situation that they do. And that's all I have right now.
Great, thank you. Johnson?
Hi. Okay, so Board of Ed, the next Board of Ed meeting is on August 26th at 7 p.m. at the admin building. The first day of school is September 5th. I know I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, back to school traffic.
Woo. The Municipal Alliance meeting, the next meeting is August 19th. Time and location to be determined right now. Recreation is August 13th, 7 p.m. right in this room. I wanted to congratulate Sergeant Janosko on his retirement after 24 years of service to HOPACOM. Wanted to thank Board President Nicole Falcone Schubert for coming in and making a presentation today. Congressman Tom Keene came in last week to visit us about our lead line replacements, and it was very informative. And I wanted to thank him and his office and his staff for coming in and making the time for us to do that. Wanted to congratulate all of our proclamation winners or recipients, I apologize, and to the Girl Scouts. I know they're not here anymore. Keep going, keep going. It really is worth it to continue to go for your gold award. Angeline Cardy did an amazing job, our Miss HOPACOM, at the state fair, at the Queen of the Fair last Saturday. And while she didn't win, she looked stunning and we're very proud of her. I also wanted to wanted to send my condolences to Sean Kramer, his family and his family and friends. He's a recent HOPACOM graduate who died very tragically and suddenly on July 28th. And not for nothing, well, no. Next Friday is Mayor Gladys' birthday. And we don't have a meeting before that, so I figured I would wish her a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Should we all sing?
Should we? It's okay, thank you. Next time, next time. Mr. Hopekamp?
Mayor Dawn Roberts, in her absence, asked me to just pass on a few points of information. It's Thursday, August the 8th at the Wellness Center from 3 to 7 p.m. At the Community Center is the, I just realized this is Center of Prevention. I don't have the program down here all of a sudden. The Thursday, August the 13th is the All Cancer Support Group from 7 to 8:30 p.m. And also they are offering free pet food and supplies, summer clothing from birth to 4-year-old, and non-perishable food items for HOPACOM residents. I think I pasted and copied that first part, so I lost out what she wanted to say. As far as Councilwoman Rodriguez mentioned the Senior Day at the State Fair. I don't know if it was mentioned that will be at the Planet Networks Performing Arts Stand at the Sussex County Fairgrounds. Again, that's from 12 to 3 p.m. And just a reminder that Senior Day at the Sussex County Day, be there if you can to help our HOPACOM seniors, Donna Moser and Rocco Passerini, as they vie for the Sussex County Senior of the Year. I too would also like to congratulate Ed Janasco on his service for the HOPACOM Police Department. Again, congratulations to all the recipients of their proclamations from the Girl Scouts tonight. And congratulations to all the winners of the Miss HOPACOM and all the other contestants tonight that we got to hear about from John Young. Thanks, John, for throwing that in there, and happy birthday upcoming to the mayor.
Thank you.
See, listen, if I have to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Okay, Neil, our administrators report?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. So a quick report from our DPW. They continue to hot patch roadways and conduct basin repairs. They also are replacing faded stop signs and street signs throughout the borough. DPW continues to haul commingled recycling. And recently they removed some overgrown bushes right across here at Modic Park. This not only has improved the aesthetics of the park, but also provides a safer environment, a nice line of sight for those that visit our park. A report from our water and sewer. They installed emergency water tap on Bucknell Trail. They conducted 2 curb box repairs on Northwestern Trail and replaced a curb box on Durban Avenue. The water department continues its booster station repairs and grinder pump replacements throughout the borough. And just as recently as today, if you noticed in our hallways, the LED lighting in the foyers here at Town Hall have been replaced. A lot brighter, it's nicer. And
Sunglasses when I walked in the building.
yeah, you can tell the difference definitely. And we're starting to prep here as well for some painting in the borough, which is definitely needed in the hall here. So that's good stuff. I also, as a former law enforcement officer, want to congratulate Sergeant Ed Janosko and thank him for his service and commitment to your borough here and all the dedication he had throughout the years. And unfortunately, due to last night's weather, Chief McCluskey had to cancel the National Night Out activities, but she wanted me to pass on that they are planning an ice cream with a cop function towards the end of this month. They haven't determined a date yet, but more to come, and just stay tuned to their Facebook page. That concludes my report, Mayor and Council.
Thank you very much. This evening, we have a presentation by the Board of Education President Nicole Falcone Schubert. I have asked her to come to present to us what is happening. She will do a presentation. She does have a PowerPoint, from what I understand. She's doing specifically just a presentation. There is not going to be an open dialogue for questions this evening. This is for informational purposes.
Heather, do you mind just hitting the light in the back, please? It's supposed to.
It's going to, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to share my screen for people who are at home.
Just make sure it's on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but it's not projecting it onto that screen. Can we see that remote just for 1 second? I hear it kicking on now.
Okay, great.
Right.
Sure.
I just powered it
There's
on.
Not much.
Not much room.
Cord.
Okay,
Yeah,
turn it
come
on
on.
now.
That's my son, future chief, everyone. Dr. Schubert.
Not president.
Oh,
I
you know what
break
it
it?
is? I know this. It's the HDMI.
Go.
Yep. I think it should work now, right?
There it is.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for inviting me. I'd also like to acknowledge my fellow board members in the audience, Mr. DeStefano, Mr. Falcone, Ms. Goulan. We will stay after the meeting to answer any specific questions that you might have for us. And we also invite you to our next open board meeting, which would be on August 26th. My name is Nicole Falcone Schubert. I have lived in this town since I was 9 months old, so it's been a very long time. I went through the Hopatcong school system. My family and I are very proud of the town that we live in, and I think it's very important to give back to my community. And I chose to do that the best way I know how, which is being involved in the school system because I'm also a teacher. I've been teaching for 22 years now. So our mission in Hopatcong is to our students. It is to provide a thorough and efficient education, which focuses on the whole student's unique talents and interests. We understand that not every student is going to go to a four-year college, so it is our job to best prepare them so they can compete at first in the classroom, possibly on the stage, on the field, or in their pursuits after graduation. We are busy this summer working on updating curriculum. That is just one facet of what we need to do to make sure our students are ready for the real world. We also need to provide for them a safe facility. And in order to do that, we have to invest in our infrastructure and make facility improvements. I'd like to give you a brief financial background on our budget situation. Before the 2% tax increase on school budgets, there was the ability for the town to vote on a school budget. The school would put together a budget, have meetings throughout the town, explain to the taxpayers what was needed to improve and maintain the schools, and the town would vote on it. Unfortunately, since 2003, the budget was voted down. I graduated in 1998. I was very lucky enough to benefit from the last referendum that we had here in town, which is the new gym, which we still refer to as the new gym because it's the last new thing we've really had in a long time. So please keep that in mind. The budget was voted down by taxpayers since 2003. What would happen was the budget would go to the town council, and the town council will then look at our budget, make recommendations, and cut where they thought was necessary. Once that system was outdated, the state put into place a 2% cap, which I think was a very fair way for districts to maintain a healthy budget, to make sure that they were able to provide for the cost of living increases without burdening the taxpayers a tremendous amount. So there was an opportunity for school boards to cap their budget at a 2% increase, which makes fiscal sense. However, the people who were on the board for a long period of time chose to keep a flat budget of 0%, never including that extra 2% to either use to invest in the infrastructure of the schools and to plan for future facility improvements or program improvements, and just to have that little nest egg. So there were years where we've had a 0% budget. This is all creating a perfect storm if you haven't gotten that feeling yet. A couple of years ago, 2018, I believe it was, the state created a brand new funding formula that's very magical. Okay, it's like a unicorn. No one's allowed to look at it. No one knows how it's formulated. But we do know that in Hopatcong, we've lost 90%, 90, of our state aid. Now, we have had a reduction in enrollment, I believe about 30%. 90 and 30 don't match up. Okay, so we were at a huge disadvantage. So what did we do? Well, I'll tell you what we didn't do. We didn't cut teachers, we didn't cut sports programs, we didn't cut clubs, we cut administrators. Okay, we cut the guys at the top. We used to have 16 in 2015, we have 7. It's not enough. I'm not up here touting that it's a great thing, but I am proud to say that we did not touch the classroom as much as we could. So we have 7 people in charge of 4 buildings and an entire school district. We have the lowest administrator to staff ratio in Sussex County. It's 1 staff member to every 25, one administrator to every 25 staff members. And at Hopatcong, it's 1 to 36. Now, if you know anything about teachers, we don't like change, we don't like to complain. We don't like change and we like to complain. We don't love our administrators, right? But we have many staff members in Hopatcong who say, we need more help. We need administration to make sure the schools are functioning. The schools have to handle the academics, the sports, what's going to happen next after high school, the bullying, the cell phones, it's too much. So we've reduced our administrative staff to 7, okay, because they cost the most, but it's also costing us in other areas. So when I go online or have conversation with people, this is the first thing they say, cut the bigwigs. We've cut them. We can't cut anymore. We need someone in charge of the school. We need someone to oversee the curriculum. We need administrators in the building to be educational leaders. So we've done what we could do. Here is a visual to show you. Since 2018, okay, and fast forwarding to 2025, we'll have lost $8.4 million. There was a little bit of a financial aid when COVID happened and we had some ESSER money, but that is now gone. We've managed, like I said, to do what we can, but we really need your help. We need the taxpayers' help. We need the state's help, but they don't really listen. Okay, so relief came Okay, it is not the best solution, but it is a solution that we need to take advantage of. We would not be doing right by our clientele, which is our students, if we did not take advantage of this opportunity. So recently, the legislation allowed school districts who lost a substantial amount of state aid a one-time opportunity to increase their taxes, their local taxes by 9.9%. For us in Opakong, that would mean we could recover $1.569 million. Remember, we've lost 8.4. This is a fraction of what we've lost, okay? We have the opportunity now to recover it at the local level. So that means our taxes are going to go up. And when I say our, I mean all of ours. Mine went up a lot. We voted on this on the 24th at our last Board of Ed meeting. So the tax bill that you received in the mail reflects the 9.9% increase through the schools and your new assessment through the town and whatever the municipality or the local tax increase was. Something else that I hear a lot about, this actually came from an email from an individual, and I love these types of conversations because I think it's really good to hear what people kind of perceive and be able to kind of lay out the facts. However you feel about this is your opinion, but I think it's important to know the facts. Someone said, we as taxpayers already give 52% of every tax dollar to the school system. That should be sufficient enough. It is beyond acceptable to raise the threshold without another opportunity to vote. So to that person, I say, we've given you an opportunity to vote since 2003, and the vote has been no. It's a shame that we don't think that the students and the town need to be invested in. Okay, before the 2% cap increase, like I said, we had no votes, zero budgets. And when you compare what we pay in Hopakong towards school taxes, it is the third lowest out of all of the towns in the county. For 2023, the tax distribution in the average Sussex County town was 59.39% of their tax dollars going to the schools. The Morris County average was 61.05%, and our contribution towards our school, when you break it down out of 100% of our taxes, is 51.9%. I'm not proud of that because when you look around our schools, it shows. We have leaky roofs. We have windows that are duct taped. We are going to have trouble heating our buildings if we don't replace the underground oil tanks. My son is sitting here. He plays on the football field. I would love to give him a turf football field. Not happening. That's not important. What's important is that our students are safe and secure and they learn. That's what they need. This pie chart represents how our taxes are broken down this year. I took it right off of my tax bill. So we are still at 52.61%, which is very low. Okay, and that is with the 9.9% increase that we've just voted on. So it's a start in the right direction. And the information that I'm showing you today, I'll post online. We'll have it on the school website. And it also came from the source down here. So I've listed for you all of the towns. Not to deviate too far, but something that is also near and dear to my heart is school choice. We have a lot of students and parents who choose to send their kids to other districts. Look how much money those other districts invest in their school system. So the kids who go to school here, okay, and those parents and the taxpayers pay less, but they send their kids to other places who invest more in their school system. That's not right. That's not fair. So the good situation is we have a way to get relief. The bad situation is the timing stinks. Why? Because we just had the reassessment in town. I know it. We're getting hit from 3 different areas and it totally stinks. I can't fix the timing. All I can do is make a decision that's best for our schools, because I feel like that hasn't been the way things have been done over the past couple of years, and we have to right the ship. So if you take a look at this chart, it shows you that the now, okay, the average home in Opakon, I think, is around $345,000. That 82.27% are assessed at less than $450,000. So the average home increase is about $27 a month. Okay, if you're right at 450, it's about $35 a month. $35 a month to put 2 new roofs on in an underground oil tank is doable. I'm not saying it to be cavalier, but I'm canceling my husband's Spark car wash subscription, which is $35 a month. And my son is gonna wash it for him because the kids need a new roof. Now, here's taking our good situation, okay, our terrible timing, and making something ideal out of it. The tax increase is happening. You already see it. It's on your bill. What can we do to help get the state to kick in, since they really did a number on us with the state aid formula? We can do another referendum. We heard you. You didn't want the $26 million referendum. Majority of the things in that referendum were related to school safety and school improvement, but we did have some things in there like air conditioning, lighting in the auditorium, some scoreboards, which we've taken care of now, okay? So we've pared it down to the bare necessities. If the town votes yes on this referendum, it will fund the replacement of the roof at the Hopakon High School, the Tulsa Trail School, remove and replace an underground oil tank at both the middle school and Durbin Avenue. Those 4 projects, okay, total around $9,800,000. If the town votes yes, the state is going to kick in around 34%. You're gonna see numbers between 34 and 40 kicked around about as far as what the state's going to do. Why? Because the state does what it wants to do. It says it's gonna give us around 40%, but it usually comes out around 34, 35, 36. So we're being conservative here. The taxpayer will be responsible for the rest of the percentage, around 66%. The bond rate would be 5 years, and we just got some good news. It used to be 4%. Okay, it's been reduced to 3.65% now. This is very different than the last referendum. Like I said, it was about $26 million over 25 years. If the referendum does not pass, this is still happening. The kids are getting a new roof and we're getting oil tanks, but the taxpayers are going to fund it 100%. That doesn't make sense. Make the state pay. Just to give you some ideas what we have been doing in the meantime, Mr. Hallenbach, our superintendent, applied for a ROD grant to refurbish parts of the roof that are salvageable. This has been going on this summer. So there's some progress photos here. I can't explain what they are. I know a lot of things, but not this stuff. But you can see it's old, dilapidated, holy, and now it's being filled in and it's not, okay? Tulsa Trail situation is very rough. You can look at the pictures down below. There's water that piles up. There's holes in the roof. It's been tarred too many times. We basically have a company on standby who goes up, checks the roof, makes the repairs that they need until we can start this roof project. So here's the question that you're all asking. You already raised my taxes. How is this referendum going to impact my taxes if I vote yes? It's not. We've already did it. We've raised the taxes. The 9.9% that you're going to be paying every month, that $27, if your house is $345,000, is going right from your check to pay off our portion of the referendum bond, and the state will be paying the rest. We are not increasing your taxes. It's already been increased. This money has been earmarked for capital improvements only. Mr. Hallenbach, our new superintendent, I don't know if you want to call it an oath, but said at the last meeting, he will not use this money for anything other than capital improvements. I, as the school board president, said the same thing, and the majority of the people on the school board also said the same thing. We need infrastructure, okay, updates, and that's what this money is for. That is all. So whether we get a referendum to help cover it or we use the taxes, all of that money is for capital improvements. So there will be a vote on November 5th. And just to show you the difference between voting yes and voting no, it's pretty clear here. A yes vote means that the taxpayers and the state will pay the $9.8 million, okay, to get the projects done. They'll pay it over 5 years, but the projects will be done in 3. Why? We don't have to wait for the money, okay? The state's going to give it to us, or we'll sell the bonds, we'll have the money, and then we can start those projects right away. The projects will start next summer and be finished no later than fall 2027. Okay, before my daughter's about to go into high school. By the way, I've been doing this since my son is in kindergarten. Things happen very slowly around here, so I'm happy to finally be presenting something like this. If the town votes no, I've told you this before, it's happening anyway. We will pay it all. We will pay more probably because the projects cannot start until we've amassed at least $6 million to start the high school roof. By that time, the damage is going to be worse and the prices are going to go up. So the projects won't be able to start till about June 2029, and they won't be able to be finished until June 2031. So when you go to the voting booth, please remember this, that we need this. It's going to happen. We could do it together and have the state chip in their share, or we can do it alone, but we need to do it for the town and for the kids. I know that this is coming at a hard time for many people, but there is something called the Senior Freeze Tax Reimbursement Program through the state of New Jersey. You need to be eligible based on your age, your home ownership, your property taxes, and your income. The filing deadline is October 31st, 2024, and you can go to the website here, which will also, I'll post this online for you to look at the applications, frequently asked questions, and check the status of your application. So if you are eligible, I definitely would recommend taking a look at that program. I'm not going to go through all of this with you. It will be posted. These are, oh, sure, sorry. Go ahead, take it down.
And the applications are actually a tax collector's office.
Oh, they have the hard copies there?
Yes, they do.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
So I've been taking a lot of questions online. I'm not going to go over all of these with you. A lot of them are based on things that I've already said, but feel free to go here. I will keep updating it as we get questions. What I'm finding is there's just a lot of misinformation out there about the schools, what we've done to kind of mitigate the problem so far, and stats and things of that nature. I would like to just bring to your attention that there is information up here about enrollment. So we had a question about that. Our enrollment actually is increasing. Hooray. Okay, so we do need to invest in the schools and keep them open. And we did have proceeds from selling Hudson Maxim and the cell phone tower. These are all the things that we did with that money. We invested in construction lab, a cosmetology lab, a passenger van. We had to replace the boilers, the PA system, and we did put money into maintenance reserve. Someone asked, why didn't you use that money to fix the roof? The roof was, I think at that time, $8 million. The sale of Hudson Maxim, do you remember, Phil? Was it like 1.2?
A little over $1 million.
Yeah. So we had to, what was that?
I said we would have need 6 months.
Right. So we did put money in reserve for projects, but it wouldn't have done it. Okay, here's just another visual to take a look at the costs and timelines. Again, if we vote yes on the referendum, the project is funded by the state and completed within 3 years and paid off in 5. If we vote no on the referendum, We 100% fund the project and it's done over years. Years where more damage is occurring and you all own homes, you know what happens, right? You have to upkeep them, so something else, God forbid, knock on wood, hopefully won't go wrong, but you know, does. All right, so what is next? We are going to expand our efforts to educate the community. We will have open meetings. Mr. Hallenbach would love to come to the senior center to speak to seniors. You want to meet with us at Dunkin' Donuts, the post office, town hall, the football field, the soccer field, come find us, come to our meetings, we can find you. We are going to have this question on the November 5th ballot. Anyone who is registered in Hopatcong can vote. If the referendum passes, construction will begin in summer of 2025. We are going to have a website up and running after our board meeting on the 26th. That is the best place to get the most accurate information. And I encourage you to email us, to come to our board meetings, to ask questions. I love to answer them and I'd love to hear your ideas. If you have any questions, please stay after the meeting. All of us who can stay will be here. Mr. Hallenbach wanted to be here, but he's on vacation. You can feel free to email him. He's our superintendent or myself at the bottom there. So thank you all very much. My son gave you the flyers. Please take a look at it, consider the options, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, that's right. Since you're up anyway, thank you.
Did you guys get one of those? Yep.
Oh, I was gonna say,
we have
can we email them to Neil to put them out? Mayor, are you okay with having these out or no?
She can leave all the
Nicole, is this
extras. and
yours?
put them
Yeah,
outside.
I'm gonna give them. I think that belongs.
That stays.
That stays here.
Yes.
And then, can you just put them down, right?
We have them.
Oh, you do?
Just if you can leave us the extras, because
Yep,
we'll put
got
them in
it.
the hallway.
Thank you. I have a ton in my car, so.
You can stop by and fill them regularly.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, thank you, Nicole. That was wonderful. We all have the information. The wonderful thing about these meetings are that they're live streamed, so the public will be able to see them
Love it.
very quickly. You could also take the snippet of what happened in this meeting and just have that goes out also, that we can, if you send it to us, we can start
Oh,
sending that
yes,
to
that'd be
people
great.
too.
I'll work on that. So,
Um,
thank you.
That would work well. So bringing it back to our meeting, can I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meeting is open to the public for anything and everything. You have up to 5 minutes to speak. You need to come forward, state your name, and please.
My name is Toby Nelson. My address, do you need? Or-
No,
Okay. I'm here to complain about the parking on Hudson Avenue between the lack of parking spaces. It's a two-way street, and the Airbnbs, one in particular has absolutely no parking space. And when they park on the water side, you cannot get two cars through. It's extremely dangerous. I've come across cars coming at me, not being able to see me coming up nor them going down. The parking from the pool or the Crescent Cove, now it's becoming congested as far as on Crescent, coming all the way up now, from Crescent all the way up Hudson. And it's becoming life-threatening because you cannot get an emergency vehicle through. That is my main concern as a resident on the block and as well as for my neighbors on the block.
Mhm.
And that's what I would like to see some consideration be taken to ensure the safety of the residents on the block. And to look into the Airbnbs who are not abiding by the rule of parking spaces, that I believe those that are saying they're accommodating parking spaces, I believe it's 10 feet by 20 feet. And when cars are parked, head in toward the water, they're hanging way out in the street.
Mhm.
And there are others that have no parking space and they're parking along the water side, which enables a two-lane traffic.
Completely understand.
Okay,
We
Thank
will
you, Mayor.
absolutely look into that. I know the administrator and I are having a conversation later in the week with the zoning officer about somebody else who had made a complaint through an email. So we'll add yours to the list if that's
okay,
okay.
really appreciate it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. My name's Chuck DeMarco. I just had a question or clarification about one of the town codes.
Mhm.
The requirement of house numbers. Does the house number have to be on the house? Is it an either or, the house or the mailbox, or it doesn't matter if it's on the mailbox, it's gotta be on the house? Clarification?
I have to look into that.
John, do you have a?
I can look it up while we're sitting here, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Ah, I stumped you.
It's very rare that that happens.
I thought so.
Code book is also like, this big.
Doesn't seem important, but you can get fined if it's not.
But even that ambulances, and emergency
First,
vehicles.
Right,
like
it should be,
finding the
it should be
houses.
prominent, you should be able to spot it,
Right.
but the wording's a little vague.
Mhm.
And somebody told me, well, if it's on the mailbox and not on the house, that's perfectly fine, and I said, I
Well,
think it's gotta be on the house.
not really, because some mailboxes are across the street from their
Right,
houses.
right.
So that wouldn't really.
We've got like a
work.
bunch of mailboxes, like over in Northwood, they have like, at the end of the road, there's like 16 mailboxes.
Right,
You
right,
know, it makes
so
sense to be
that's why
on
I'm
the
thinking the
house.
house, but I just wanted to be
Right, and actually
clarified.
before Neil's time, I think it was when David was still here, I sent him FEMA grant information in terms of that being able to cover. Cause I think we had looked into providing house numbers for free to residents who didn't have it, so maybe that's something we can revisit and see if it's still an option.
Mhm.
Okay.
We'll get you the answer to that, sir.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
My name is Lynn Owens. I've spoken to you all before. It just seems very insignificant after what you presented. I think what you all on the board have done. I've been here since 1947. We've been through all the schools. I'm so proud of what you've done. Really. Our complaint on Pepper's Trail about a dilapidated house seems so insignificant. Really.
Not for
The
you.
house on Papa's Trail.
22 Papoose Trail, the same scaffolding is up. The stumps are up. It's my next door neighbor, but
No, we'll take care of that first thing.
Were they
okay.
doing
Thank you
stucco,
very much.
Lynn?
What?
I went to the beach club, he's doing stucco or something, right? The scaffolding is like, cause he's actively working on it. I saw him working on it the other day.
For the last 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
So
not
one,
rushing.
so one man show.
He's not rushing.
We'll take care of that in the morning. Lynn. Anyone else? Not seeing.
Dave.
David.
It
threw-
would not have been a normal meeting if Dave didn't get
David
up.
threw me off
Yeah,
because you're
you're on
back
the-
there.
and you're not on the
I
side.
anticipated you over here.
Girl Scout.
I was just wondering, is anything going on with the lake? Because I noticed the state park is closed for swimming because of the algae. And I was wondering, are they taking any steps or?
Well, it's
to,
being tested on a daily basis. I can tell you that they are testing that. I do believe it's open right now because it did reopen. It was closed and the fountain was off. Now, if you see the fountain is on, it's open again, and I'm pretty sure the fountain is on
The
today.
swimming is
Mhm.
open? Oh, because it seems I was just past there about a day or two ago and it said it's swimming closed.
It could be because it was full. It could be because it was full, but as long as the fountain is on, it's been
The
on, because
fountain
we
is
haven't
on.
had anything that said that it's not open to the public for swimming.
I see. Okay,
They
thank you.
usually send it out to all of the administrators and whatnot, so that the municipalities know that there's no swimming at the state park.
I see. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's it.
Anyone else from the public? Not seeing anything, motion to bring it back?
Motion.
Nick, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. So moving along, we have the approval of the minutes for July 17th, 2024.
Motion made.
Second.
And a roll call?
Mr. Huffercamp.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
So correspondence, so we actually have two correspondence that are really kind of exciting. The first one was a letter that went to Congressman Kane. Dear Congressman Kane, on behalf of the residents of Hopatcong Borough, I extend our heartfelt gratitude for your hard work and dedication in choosing funding for the replacement of lead service lines in our community. Hopatcong feels honored and privileged that our project is one of the 15 projects that you have put forward to legislation. The generous grant totaling $1,456,796 will provide significant relief to our residents, allowing them to successfully replace their lead or galvanized service lines. This critical infrastructure improvement ensures safe drinking water and a healthy environment for all. The residents of Hopatcong are grateful for your dedication to public safety and the health and welfare of our community. Safe drinking water is a priority often overlooked. Your commitment to the well-being of our district is deeply appreciated, and your continued commitment to save our drinking water is to be commended. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to come to Hopatcong Borough to meet with me and our residents, our staff, our municipal engineer, John Rushke, our DPW Superintendent, Pat Mason, Police Captain Mike O'Shea, our Administrator, Neil Spitaletto, Councilwoman Jennifer Johnson, Councilwoman Rachel Rodriguez, and Father Peter from St. Jude Church. We appreciated the time that you were able to give to Hopatcong, in which you were able to answer questions from residents and take the time to travel within Hopatcong to see firsthand one of the areas that will be greatly impacted with relief from this grant for lead service line replacement. Thank you for your continued support, commitment, and advocacy on behalf of Hopatcong Borough. Sincerely, Mayor Marie Galati. We will have to wait for that to pass through legislation. When we do, we will be signaling everybody to come to the big check ceremony that we will be getting for $1.4 million. So that's exciting. That is on our horizon. In the meantime, good evening, everyone. I'm excited to share a significant development for our beloved Hopatcong Borough. After much anticipation and collaboration, I'm pleased to announce that New Jersey Natural Gas will be starting a comprehensive project to install gas lines throughout our community. This initiative is set to commence in the fall of 2024 or by March 2025 at the latest, and it aims to be completed within 7 years. Throughout 2024, myself, Councilwoman Jennifer Johnson, and Councilwoman Rachel Rodriguez engaged with many of you to understand your needs and aspirations for our town. A consistent theme was the desire for improved utility services to enhance our quality of life. I'm proud to say that this New Jersey Natural Gas project is a direct response to your voices and a testament to myself, Councilwoman Johnson, and Councilwoman Rodriguez, and our commitment to making Hopatcong an even better place to live. As we continually say, Hopatcong strong, our community stronger. This project is not just about laying gas lines. It represents a historic moment in the history of Hopatcong Borough, which was established in 1898. Partnering with the New Jersey Natural Gas is a huge win for our community, promising to significantly boost our quality of life and stimulate our local economy. Additionally, this project will bring considerable cost savings to the residents of Hopatcong. As many of you know, the high cost of oil and propane have placed a significant burden on our families. The introduction of natural gas will offer a more affordable alternative, which will be life-changing for many households, not to mention the considerable cost of savings to all of our municipally owned buildings and our schools. Hopatcong is eager to work with New Jersey Natural Gas on this venture, and we believe this partnership will bring about lasting positive changes for all of our residents. I'm pleased to inform you that the representatives from New Jersey Natural Gas will be attending a future council meeting to discuss the project in detail and address any questions or concerns you may have. Thank you for your attention and your continued support as we embark on this transformative journey together. Very exciting news for Hopatcong. From what little bit we have been given information, they are waiting for some detailed maps to be drawn. There are some issues here or there when we had the meeting. We do know that the project will start in the Heights. Unfortunately, Northwood, it's gonna end in Northwood.
Of course it is.
So you're at the end of the project, but you were on the map. That was one of the first things that I checked for was.
We
was
just
Northwood
got
on the map.
electricity last year.
I know.
This
I
is
know.
great.
So there will be gas
I'm
lines in
excited.
Northwood. There will be gas lines there. But they will be at the end of the project. But it's very exciting to hear. It's very exciting. I know it's going to be a very big boost to local economy here with our delis that are here, our luncheonettes, our pizzerias, all of our different businesses that we have here. It'll be a nice boom for several years. And it's a very good project. The end result too is when they're done, if any of you have been on Brooklyn Stanhope, where they did put in the mains for the Stanhope project and to connect the Sussex County, New Jersey natural gas line to the Morris County, New Jersey natural gas line, the road repavement, it's glass. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. So if our roads that they're working on end up being like that, we are so lucky. So lucky. So lucky.
I do have one question with that, and that's, I'm very excited. Are we gonna rework our paving schedule
Yes,
to make sure that
absolutely.
nothing overlaps? Okay.
Absolutely. There is currently, correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, there is currently a switch that our DPW Superintendent Pat Mason was discussing, and I'm not sure if he moved 2 roads or 3 roads. I'm not sure exactly what that was. Do you recall?
Yeah, it was in the Heights section, which the gas company indicated they're gonna be starting, so certainly we don't wanna pave over those.
Right,
especially, yeah,
exactly.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that's gonna be reworked and rearranged to, focus on roadways that are down potentially in the list on the phases of the gas
Mhm.
company where they're gonna address.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no, again, moving along to, just some of the things to just bring Hopatcong relief in some way, shape or form. We know several people that we have spoken to that have, switched to gas, that have just made all of their utility bills they're down more than 60%. It's amazing. I can't be nothing more than excited about where this is really going to take us, because it's also going to open up some avenues for people to be able to have some relief, because we hear it, on a regular basis here at the borough. People that can't pay their water bills, they can't pay their sewer bills. They're choosing between medication and heat and food, and it's nice to be able to have this option for them. So we will definitely keep you posted on which meeting. I believe that they're coming in September. I'm just not sure if it's the first or the second council meeting in September. But we will keep you apprised of that. Moving along. Our bill list, resolution 2024-109.
So moved.
Second,
Mayor, if I may, if anyone on the council has anything they'd like removed or abstain from on the bill list.
There's a 23 and
I have two questions. The first one is Bill 24-01376. It's for the CFO. It says 3 weeks of pay, but I think it's 2 weeks of pay, right?
It's supposed to be bi-weekly.
Yeah, but it's not for 3 weeks. That's only 2 weeks.
No, I know.
I'm sorry, what was the number again?
24-01376. It's on the 3rd page.
yeah.
Right there.
So it's 01
Joseph.
376.
6, yep.
Okay.
So I think that should be 2 weeks, not
Okay.
3. And then I had a question about 24-01401. We're paying the vendor for the banners for the marketplace.
We paid for 2 banners for the concert in the park. Yes.
Cool.
And again, the banners that we are making, the vendor that we're using is a local vendor, and he had a fabulous suggestion of making the banners. They are the vinyl banners, and we make the date a large number so that we can just keep putting a circle over the date, so we can keep the same banner every year and just keep changing the date. It was a great idea.
He's quite intelligent.
He was a very great idea, but that's what that's for.
And then I have bills that I need removed.
Yeah, and then just one note for 24-01351, the Caesar's Hotel stay for Jay Johnson. It's actually Councilwoman Johnson and myself, just so people are aware, we are sharing a room to save the borough money.
That's for the League of
So,
Municipalities.
Yeah, right. Yep. So we're both staying together in case there's any ever question.
So you have something?
I have a couple I need removed.
Okay,
23-02300.
all right.
For the first one. I need 24-01233. At the bottom. 233, 1233.
1, 2, 3, 3.
And then on the third page, I need 24-01369. And then third from the bottom, 24-01423.
So just to clarify, Councilwoman Johnson, are you asking to remove that one that you're questioning for the CFO? to
No,
get?
no, I'm not,
Okay.
no. The ones I'm removing is because I have a conflict of interest. I can't vote on those bills.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you wanted to pull it to get an explanation. at the same time.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if it's 2 weeks, if it's 3 weeks, I just,
Okay, no, I understand. I just want to make sure we
and I
were
think he actually does the bills.
pulling it if it
so-
was necessary.
So no.
So, yeah.
So we're good. Anybody else?
I think we're gonna have
I
to
just
pull
had the first.
this separately than the other ones.
Let me
Great,
propose the bill
23.
list with the first one removed, 23-02300. But I'd also have to, if you're gonna vote for that, I'm gonna have to put the other ones in. Can I put them all three to get all of them together?
But then she has to abstain and then those bills don't get paid. This one's gonna have to be pulled because me and Rachel have to abstain on that.
Oh,
one.
you and
So,
Rachel.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the 23
first
one,
one.
on the first
Got
one,
it.
so that has to be pulled for the next meeting. Because you
All
don't have
right.
a quorum voting on it.
You don't
Okay,
need a quorum to vote on it.
Oh, you don't?
No, as long as there's a quorum, if 2 people abstain, you can vote on it.
Oh, nice to know. Okay, good. Okay, then yeah.
Mayor, if I'm, now you're good with all of them now. Put 'em all together. Just Rachel, you good?
That's fine.
All right, Mayor, if I may move the bill list with the following items removed on this part, 23-02300. 24-01369. Skip that one, 24-01401. And
No, not those. Don't pull those.
well, you said-
You're pulling this one,
Right.
this one. 6-9. This
no,
one and this one,
All right,
not these two.
correct that if I could, Neil. The last one's 24-01369 and 23-01423.
4, 2, 3.
1, 4, 2, 3, got it,
Got it?
got it.
Roll call?
Roll call.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
It's everything but those, yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Now, if I may move the bill list with the following ones that I had already previously mentioned, just those alone. Correct? Roll call.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Abstain.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Abstain.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
We're all laughing at the same thing, right?
Apologize, the font size has gone to about
Yeah.
07 or 8.
We were
I
all
think it's
commenting
clear.
on it.
I have to tell you, when we got it, I thought it was so much clearer.
It's really not.
Well, it depends on the
I'll bring
age
us
of your
magnifying
eyes,
glasses for
honey.
the next one. Maybe we change it instead of to a horizontal, so it'd be sideways.
The description is
larger.
better and it doesn't have all the extra dots and dashes, which makes it more legible. And the descriptions are better, but the font is actually smaller, which is fine. Okay, moving along to the other resolutions, 2024-110, authorization for online energy auction.
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call?
Mr. Hoppercamp?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
2024-111, authorizing the appointment of Joseph Sedekase as CFO.
So-
We had previously done this at another meeting. Our wording is not correct for the state to accept, so we have to redo it and reissue.
Motion made.
Second.
I'll second.
Second, did anybody have any questions?
No,
On
so it's
that
just,
now?
it's just removing the interim, correct? Because they don't accept
Yeah.
interim.
Didn't we make amendments to this at the last meeting though, like the start date and the whatever and?
That all of
That all
that
translates?
stays.
Got it.
That
That all
all
stays.
translates.
Got it. No
It's
problem.
just they do not accept it with the word interim on it. And the roll call?
Mr. Hoppercamp?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
2024-112, authorizing the 2023 corrective action plan.
Motion made.
Second.
Any questions? And the roll call?
Mr. Hoppercamp?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
I have an agenda that still has the Hudson Avenue. Did we remove that?
Yes.
We did.
Okay. So the next one is 2024-114, authorizing approval of CFO consultant contract for additional services.
It's
113.
113.
Sorry, it's 113, Mayor.
Sorry, my
Yep.
agenda says 114, 113.
So made.
Second.
2024-113. Oh, roll call.
Mr. Hoppercamp?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Maybe you want to mention that the original 113 was removed.
112 is.
One,
113 was removed.
113.
So 2024-113, authorizing the payment plan for Hudson Sewer Special Assessment has been removed off of the resolution, and it has actually been moved underneath
Old business.
old business, old or new business, wherever we choose to discuss that. Thank you. Ordinances, the final hearing for ordinance 13-2024, funding for various capital improvements. Capital ordinance providing for various capital improvements by and in the borough of Hopatcong and the county of Sussex, state of New Jersey. Appropriating $939,050, therefore $187,100 from the general capital fund balance, $473,950 from the general capital improvement fund, $30,000 from the water capital fund, and $248,000 from the sewer capital fund to pay for the costs thereof.
motion made.
Second.
Open for discussion, right?
Yep. Open the public.
Do they vote on first?
No, open the public.
Okay, can I have a motion to open this up to the public?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This ordinance is open for the public for any questions on this ordinance and this ordinance alone. Any questions?
What ordinance is it?
This is ordinance 13-2024, funding for the various capital improvements. That's at the bottom of the agenda.
I think they're genuinely asking like, what is it?
What are you?
Right,
what's
is
it
that what-
about? There's a.
Right,
there's a bunch-
exactly.
There's a bunch of. What's it for?
It is our capital funding, and it is projects that come from each and every department that is listed there. The improvements come from the general capital fund, but it's improvements in reference to water and sewer, and all of our projects that we have for capital have to be divided into the different departments. The listing for each one is,
No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We passed it already.
Right.
Yeah, just-
I just have a quick question. Were the ordinances and resolutions that are attached to this agenda posted online?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, okay. I just want to make sure. We're looking at the agenda, so you're asking what it's for, like specifically?
I'm gonna tell you what it's for.
Mhm.
So it is saying the capital improvements and purposes described below are hereby authorized as general capital improvements, water capital improvements, and sewer capital improvements be undertaken by the borough. For the said improvements or purposes, there is hereby authorized the amount of $187,000 for the general capital fund, 473, the general capital improvements. Authorized include but not limited to acquisition of various improvements and acquisitions, various equipment for the fire department, including but not limited to radio equipment, extrication equipment, turnout gear, and various building improvements. upgrades and or replacements of various radio equipment for the Office of Emergency Management, acquisition of various equipment and renovations for the Department of Public Works, including but not limited to the acquisition of a roll-off truck, a pickup truck, a vehicle lift, a loader and guide rails, system compliance upgrades and wall repair at the DPW building, and various improvements to borough buildings and grounds, including but not limited to the acquisition and or installation of fencing, bleachers, picnic tables, and a recreation shed. The water capital improvements or purposes hereby authorized include but are not limited to the acquisition and or of installation of water meters. The sewer improvements or purposes hereby authorized include but are not limited to the acquisition of grinder pumps, ladder inspection camera, ladder inspection camera, and lateral jet cart, and the replacement of wastewater treatment equipment. The above referenced general capital improvements, water improvements and sewer improvements shall also include but shall not be limited to all work materials, equipment, labor, and appurtenances necessary therefore of incidental thereof.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's accounting.
Is that it? Okay. Anyone else? Motion to bring it back
Motion.
Second.
and a roll call.
Mr. Hufferkamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Okay, old business / new business. The August 21st, 2024 meeting cancellation. We have several conflicts of schedules for that meeting. So we were hoping that we could just cancel that meeting and just move everything to the September meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi. Are we gonna go back and talk about the old
Old
business?
business. You
Yeah.
skipped the old business.
I was doing it together.
Okay.
I was doing old business / new business because they're pretty hard to differentiate between the two. And that one I had listed, my agenda doesn't have the other things listed. So actually I should probably look at somebody's agenda that has something listed. Okay. Hudson Sewer Special Assessment. So that's open for discussion.
You want me to start?
I would love for you to start, John.
So the council tonight was gonna consider whether there would be a payment plan for the Hudson Ave Sewer Project Special Assessment. But we're at a time period where the old CFO left and didn't make a recommendation about the payment plan. And the council, I think it's a good idea that the council gets a recommendation from the new CFO as to whether the payment plan should be more synchronized with the payment of the bonds.
The payment of the special assessment.
Correct. And so that's really, that's why, that's my understanding as to why it was pulled from the agenda so that could be discussed.
Mhm.
Because if you're going to, the amount of the special assessment is determined, it's really an issue as to how it will be paid. And since your CFO is in the best position to give the council advice on how it's paid and what would be the best way to take in payments against the special assessment so that they can be applied to the bond payments, it makes sense to give the CFO just a little bit of time to make that recommendation to the council. And then the council's prerogative as to what you do with the payment plan.
Now, the resolution that we were kind of working on, right, that you had worked on, that we had talked about at the last meeting, right? That was not just the assessment, it was also.
No, that was just the assessment. The connection fee is separate.
But not just the connection fee, because the connection fee is due when they hook up. We're talking about the people who, I thought we were talking also about the people who have not hooked up and have to be paying usage fees.
So that's a little bit of a different problem. So you, under your ordinance, you're supposed to receive notice once the sewer is in place in front of your property. And once the sewer is in front of your property, you're supposed to receive notice that you're required to hook up within a specified amount of time.
90 days, right?
Right. And those notices did not go out for all of the property owners. So I know that the administrator is working with the tax collector to make sure that those notices are all out and then those properties are connected. Whether or not the properties are connected, the connection fee will become due and the user fee will become due.
What we talked about the last time, though, dividing the payment into 4 different payments, right? Or
Right,
to
but
do-
that's what we're talking about, you getting a recommendation from the CFO.
From the CFO, okay.
Because again, I'm not saying what's the right answer.
Yeah.
Because you should get information from the CFO, but you were thinking about taking in the money from the special assessment, but no one was giving you information about when that money came in, how it would be applied to the
Applied.
bond payments that was borrowed, or the loan payments that were borrowed in order to fund that project.
Okay,
You know, the CFO may have an opinion about how they should be synchronized.
okay. And at this point, we don't know, not all the people have chosen to hook up.
They don't have a
There,
choice.
yeah. it's
They don't
meant-
have a choice, but if they don't, they're still gonna pay in essence. They
course.
just won't pay for, okay.
Sure, and look, it's, you know, it's a little bit of an unusual situation because normally the notice to hook up is linked to the certificate of occupancy. Right, so normally the certificate of occupancy doesn't issue until the connection fee, or in this
Is
case, the
paid,
special
right.
assessment is paid. But all of these were existing houses, so they didn't need COs, so that triggering point, I would say, was missed.
Okay.
So half of them got noticed and half of them did not, is what you're telling me.
We're not aware of who got what.
Yeah, I don't think we know that answer, but I think we know that about half of them are hooked up.
So once it came to our attention that there's an issue, we decided to just start from the very beginning with the project. For the numbers. As to just move things forward.
Mayor, if we go with the recommendation of our legal counsel on waiting for the CFO to input, are we going to, we're kind of acting with a part-time, full-time CFO was just here for a little bit. Are we gonna do it with that person or wait till we have a full-time?
No.
Oh, no, the current
with the
CFO
current
will have it.
CFO.
You're good.
Yeah, He's already on top of it. He's already been given some information in regards to this. And he's looking into, we're meeting with him this week, so we'll certainly get guidance from him in regards to this.
We'll have the information sooner rather than later.
Okay.
And again, with not having all of the particulars to this, we need to have that before we make a final decision about things. And when we had the resolution discussion last time, we were not aware that all the pieces weren't there. And now we are.
Good.
So
Okay.
in good conscience, we have to make sure we have the right numbers moving forward.
Mhm.
So wait, if we squished old business and new business together, can I bring up a couple things?
You bring in anything you want, Rachel.
Perfect. So the one thing, I would love to ask our administrator Neil if he'd be tasked with looking into a new initiative. Cooking oil recycling, so it's something a lot of the local commercial businesses are doing. There's a company out of Sparta, I believe it's called LaFell's Oil Recycling. They will actually pay to come and pick up used cooking oil, and then you are given a check for the amount of oil collected. And I believe my conversation, it's 30 cents to the gallon that's picked up, and there's no cost to the borough. So any information I have, I'll send over to you to take a look at, but they recommended, other municipalities are doing it. I believe there's only one. We would actually be the first one in Sussex County. Roxbury does it, and I believe West Orange does it. So basically what would happen is a tank is put over in the recycling center, because it does have to be locked and monitored. Residents could bring their used cooking oil, dump that cooking oil into this large tank that's there. When it gets close to being full, the company comes, sucks all the oil out, and then we get a check depending on how many gallons are provided. So it's just something I thought would be interesting for us to look into. And then my second, it's more so a question. The online submission forms, like certain departments like zoning or DPW have submission forms online. Are those routed to those departments specifically, or do those all go to the administrator?
To those departments specifically.
Those departments?
Yes.
Okay, and then my last question, comment, in the event somebody crashed into a fire hydrant, and no, I did not crash into a fire hydrant, do we keep hydrants in town to replace them? Like, who actually replaces a hydrant if somebody were to crash into one? Where do those come from?
So when someone crashes into a fire hydrant, that triggers a police report. So the police report then triggers an insurance claim. So it's the insurance claim that then goes into play, and then we get the, usually it's not our fault. So usually it's
Right.
the insurance company of the person who hit it that is paying to replace the fire hydrant.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, I have a question sort of and comment. There are a couple, as somebody said, Airbnbs, and we have one near us. That, if they're not, who is monitoring them? They're supposed to be filling out applications for every single person that
Correct.
comes there.
Every time there's a change.
But when things start happening, I mean, this is an all summer one near me. They leave their garbage out and it's all over. I mean, it's
That
just
is,
all.
that is one of the
So
complaints.
who's monitoring these things?
I believe that it's zoning, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so the license for a short-term rental is with the clerk's office.
Mhm.
But, and so that's, that a record can be maintained, the details of the rental can be established and the property manager identified, but it's zoning is enforcement.
But how, so every weekend, if an Airbnb changes over every weekend, the one by me doesn't, but there are those.
Yes.
Who is verifying that the people in there at that moment are the people that this property manager is?
So we don't have the staff that can go individually into these buildings.
Mhm.
What's been happening is as residents come in and complain, garbage is humongous. I mean, every Monday, Tuesday morning,
get
we
complaints,
have
yeah.
several people in the morning that come in about the garbage, because what happens is most of the time, those Airbnbs, the garbage really isn't until Thursday or Friday, but they put it out on Sunday when they leave or
Right.
Monday morning when they leave.
Right, and the
And then it
animals
ends
are-
up all over the street.
Yeah,
So that is one of the biggest complaints that we get. We have been encouraging the residents who are complaining to take photos for us, if it's near them, to take videos, because that we can actually have tangible proof, and then we can give that also
so
to the
can
zoning
we,
officer.
as a town, if this is a repeated happening, in some way, force them to have a dumpster, a small
Containment, yes.
dumpster? That, I mean, it doesn't make sense
Mhm.
that I mean, it's very not hygienic.
No, we actually just started getting the other municipalities, their rules and regulations, their ordinances for Airbnbs. We just started doing that
Yeah.
because we're realizing that there is a little bit of a hole where enforcement is concerned, because they are supposed to be on premises, owner are supposed to be on premises, which isn't happening.
No.
There's only supposed to be 2 parking spaces. That's not happening either,
No.
which we heard that parking
Right.
isn't an issue. So we do get a
Many
lot of these complaints, and we have been trying to keep track of them, and we're just trying to, get our information from everywhere else, just to see what everybody else is doing,
Okay.
to make sure that we can, everybody wants great quality of life here. It's a beautiful place to be, but they certainly don't want to have the garbage at the end of their street and the craziness and all of that stuff. And there are people who absolutely abuse the Airbnb situation,
Oh,
because when you're renting a house, everybody knows if you own a home, you have to register with the clerk in the municipality that rental home is in. If you do not do that, that's a automatic $250 fine from the state of New Jersey. So that's not happening with Airbnbs, and we're using them as the honor system to come in and say they're doing an Airbnb. That doesn't always happen either. So those are another part of enforcement that we are utilizing our zoning officer for also, because there are those illegal Airbnbs that he has to go out to investigate also.
Mhm.
So we're looking for clarification on a lot, but it's very important. Anyone else? Motion to open to the public?
Motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is open to the public for anything and everything. You just need to come up and state your name.
Hi, my name is Anthony Pisano. I live on 227 Hudson Avenue. Been a Hopatcong resident homeowner since 1992. I had a statement, but I'm not going to read it because according to Resolution 2024-113, they had a payment plan in there. So just based on what you said, I'm thinking that's not going to be resolved today.
It's not.
So
It's under further review.
okay, because the original, like when Mr. Ruski outlined the program, there was a pretty solid plan for the payment plan, and about like kind of a plus or minus for the amount though.
Yeah, so I can tell you that that information about the proposed payment plan that was back in 2019, that never really formalized by the council.
Okay.
And so there's a number of different members of this council, and as a result of this discussion, this council is now aware of all of those discussions and the various memos, so I'm sure they'll take that into consideration.
Okay, so like I'm a little disappointed, so I will read this. And I think it's a sense of duty I have to voice this concern for all of us on Hudson Avenue. There's a lot of changes to the sewer project execution and payment plan. The project was initially promised to bring positive developments. It's really taken a turn where we find I think it's unjust. We agreed to this project. It was based on a pretty clear and transparent plan. They said it would benefit and outweigh the cost, all of the positives. I trusted that our town officials were acting in best interest of us, considering the short-term and long-term impacts on the community. But the recent changes to the plan it's gonna lead to unexpected financial burdens on the neighbors. And I'm concerned that these changes have been pushed through with minimal communications and no transparency. So many of us feel that we weren't informed. I was never informed or consulted about the modifications. Now we have this financial hardship, and it wasn't part of the original agreement. So I know that projects change, they evolve, adjustments were made. It's probably necessary, but the way it's handled, it's quietly handled. Really didn't have the proper engagement with us. So it's really like a breach of trust. And so we have the right to be fully informed, and our voices have to be heard. This is a big decision. It's a profound impact on our lives. So I call on you, the town officials, to address these concerns with a little bit more seriousness. We need a detailed explanation on why something changed from whatever last administration or a few years ago. We need a detailed explanation of that, because it's a financial strain that you put on us, small part of the community. It's really your chance to restore transparency, rebuild the trust that has definitely been eroded. So I urge the town council to hold off or cancel the passing of any resolution or any subsequent billing to the residents that have been affected by this. It's imperative that we pause and reasons that the situation ensure no resident is left to bear an unfair burden. I believe the sewer commission has a critical role to play in this. They need to work harder to help the residents understand the complexity of the issue and the project. Whether they fell short or were simply overwhelmed with the complexities, the commission should now step up as our representatives to work diligently to fix the situation and assist the community. So let's work together and honor the original spirit of the project while ensuring that our community is treated with honesty, fairness, and respect. Our voices must be heard and our well-being must be prioritized. Thank you for your time.
So I certainly appreciate you coming forward and representing Hudson Ave, but I'm sure that you're aware that the administration that had all those agreements and made all those verbal conversations, they're not here. There's some of them have never been formalized. There are documents that are out there that are existing that are all over the place, which is one of the reasons why we've currently paused, because there are questions about the numbers to begin with. The project in itself is a project that currently now all the taxpayers are paying for, because that loan has to be repaid and has been being repaid by the rest of the taxpayers of Borough of Opequon. So you're right, we do have to do what's fair is fair, because this is not a utility that all of the residents are getting to utilize.
Right.
So us taking a step back where this resolution is concerned, everything has been transparent. The resolution needs to be discussed amongst the governing body first before we can present it to any of the residents. There's no point in someone coming forward to you and saying, well, this is what we're going to do, and someone else saying this. We need to have a paper that says this is the resolution, this is what we're going to do. So we have been absolutely transparent. We will continue to be absolutely transparent. And once we have the numbers, we will share all those numbers with everyone, because it's very important for everybody to know what's going on with these homes that are on Hudson Ave that have had the sewer installed, and the loan has to be paid back.
Yep.
And right now everybody else is paying that back. So we just want to make sure, you're right, the unfair burden, I agree with you with the unfair burden.
So I'm cool with the cost of it. It was really the term that I had the biggest issue with. The costs are all seem pretty fair in what I've read in the tax papers and the resolution. It's really just a term that changed pretty dramatically, because there were two terms that were written, and in this documentation that was, recorded and said in this room, that had a mainline cost over a 20-year period, not a 1 or 2 or 3 year period. And then it had a connection fee over a 2-year period. Now, the cost, they always said it was a plus or minus, so there was always flexibility in what it was gonna be. But the terms were never really argued or varied in any way. So my issue is really with the term, like paying per quarter over a long period of time versus having a very large fee in a short amount of time.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
and that's why we have currently reached out for the local finance board, because we have to make sure that we're legally offering something that we can offer.
Okay,
Because that's another part of the problem of offering something that sometimes legally as a municipality, you can't offer it because we're not a bank. We're not allowed to offer certain things, and we need to get those answers from the local finance board to tell us what we can offer and what we cannot offer. And this board specifically wants to make sure that we have all of the information from all of the different entities and everything. Again, like I say, everything comes out in this room. You said
Yeah.
yourself, you heard
Yep.
it.
Yep.
So everything is out here. All the information will be here. Once we have the information from the CFO, once we have the information from the state, we'll be able to come to a better compilation of.
so this draft is a draft, this
Yes,
thing that you put on.
They're all dry, yeah, they're all.
Okay, so none of this is gonna be resolved
Oh.
and passed today.
No.
Okay. Yeah, because that was like really
No,
the red light went on, because it was like, all right, you're gonna get a one-time special assessment, $50,000 assessment, which it was whatever, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 to be paid over 1 year. So that was never discussed in any prior meetings.
Hmm.
And it's the first time I saw it was yesterday.
as you're aware, the project is pretty simple. The project costs X,
Yep.
that has to get divided, and that's what the special assessment is. The sewer hookup fee, that's a separate fee by itself that everybody pays when they pay into the
Right.
sewer system, when they hook up. And then you have the user fees. And technically, the user fees are paid whether or not you're hooked up to the system or not. Those user fees are supposed to be being paid on a quarterly basis anyway. So we really have to get all the information. We have to really figure out where the ball is dropped. We have to find out all of that.
Okay,
So.
No, and I
We
understand
don't
you got
have
a new,
anything definite for you.
you have a new CFO coming in, but I mean, I feel that all of this is relevant for that person to
Mhm.
deal with. And,
Of course, of
but
course.
to slap a, 1 year versus a 20 or a 2 or a multiple year is a
And
big difference.
That's where the local finance board will come in, because they
Okay.
will legally tell us what
Okay.
we can and cannot do.
That's cool. I'm satisfied with that. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
You're welcome.
Mayor, can I make a comment?
Sure.
Yeah.
I will say, as the newest council person, and obviously least experience, it's incredibly frustrating to spend the time and energy that we do researching these things and not having all the information. So the lack of transparency from the previous administration almost makes us look bad because they were inept to do their jobs. So I apologize for their lack of transparency, but I assure you, we don't take these decisions lightly. We spend every day, almost every minute on the phone talking about what we can do better for you guys.
Yeah, and then you mentioned some people didn't even get it in the mail, like their assessment or their hookup. So hopefully that'll be forthcoming and then we'll resolve this. But thank you.
Everything will be
Yeah,
forthcoming.
no, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right.
No problem.
Hi, Alan Nelson, another Hudson Avenue resident. I just want to point out after Mr. Pisano finished that the plan as it was pretty well laid out. But you just said that right now, all the taxpayers are picking up our bond or our cost.
Yeah.
I've been hooked up a couple of years now. I've been willing and waiting and ready to pay. So your administration and the one before you, nobody came forward, nobody did anything about it, nobody put any notices out. So I just want to make sure that the residents aren't punished, so to speak, for the fiasco that happened. Again, we don't want an undue burden. We're willing to pay our share. When somebody gets it together and is dealing like we're dealing with them.
I agree.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you. Thank you for all of that. Motion to, I'm sorry.
Robert Hegarty. Just about the sewer project. I was wondering, you have an itemized list of the cost of the project and everything and?
For Hudson Ave,
Yes. for the
we
sewer
are going
project?
to have that. We don't have it right now in front of us, but we are going to have that because that's necessary
So
for
did
us.
it go over budget or something? Why
No,
all of a
actually, it was-
sudden
No,
you
no,
have to
actually, it was under
pay it
budget.
within a year?
No, no,
Instead of
no.
the 18-year?
No, that has nothing to do with it. It was, the information that we had available to us is what we made the, decision to do the resolution that we did. There is apparently other information that's coming forward that this governing body had no idea existed. So that's where the confusion is coming in. So until we can actually go back to the beginning and start at the beginning and get the numbers and divide everything, then we can be able to present a proper project with information to you. The information that we have right now, it's inaccurate. So the resolutions that we were talking about passing, we can't do that because we don't even have the correct numbers.
So how did you, can you make us, get the pump and everything, not give us any bills for 4 years? And then all of a sudden, you want it within a year?
I completely understand what you're saying, but that decision was made based on what the information that we had at the time was.
So if there's no legal documents or anything, I didn't sign any paperwork to, agree to these terms, how could that be legal?
Well, the agreement to do the project existed because that's where the sewer assessment came from for Hudson Ave. It wasn't, correct me if I'm wrong, John, it wasn't a borough project. It was something that was brought in as a secondary line to the original project. It wasn't something that was originally meant to be a sewer
Yeah, and you
area.
got a grant for it, correct? And the original sewers back in 06, I think it was. There wasn't a grant, and you gave all the homeowners grinder pumps. For the first one was free.
Mhm.
And is that the case for this time too now, or?
I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't even know how many grinder pumps there are on Hudson Ave. I don't have that information. We literally just started getting the information,
Okay,
literally.
yeah.
If I could go into greater detail, I would, but there really isn't a lot of information that I can share. Because we
Okay.
just don't have a lot of the pieces yet.
Yeah.
Once we
And,
do, they'll be here and you'll hear everything.
And the town was doing maintenance. You were saying the summer replacing street signs, grinder pumps, or what was that entail, that job for the grinder pumps?
Are you talking about the ordinance for the capital projects?
I'm not sure, you were saying something about the street signs and
Yeah, they're
bushes
just,
being removed
the
and grinder pumps.
DPW and water department are going around and checking things out.
Yeah, for the
with
grinder pumps,
signs.
I'm basically talking about though.
Yeah,
Are
I don't
those
have the
homeowners
exact
pumps, or are
location.
they-
No, we
The
don't, we
towns?
don't service homeowners pumps. We
Okay.
don't do that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Good afternoon. My name is Greg Rogers. I'm also from Hudson Avenue. I would just like to say that I understand that the chief financial officer is leaving. Has he left already?
No, they have left already. We currently have a new CFO that started July
Okay.
1st.
So you weren't able to get any information prior to him leaving with regard to our project?
Yes and no. We have some of the information. We don't have all of the information. And we decided that since we only had some of the information, we were gonna go back to the beginning and get everything from the very beginning.
Okay, because there is quite a few letters that went out with respect to our project. I don't know if you have a compilation of those letters or not.
We do now.
Now.
Okay, because I do have some, and if it would be any help, I could provide those as well.
Sure, if you wanted to drop off copies of the administrator, that would be great.
Yeah,
Just to make sure that we have them or don't have them, that would be great.
Okay, and just so you know, with respect to the taxpayers paying and so forth, we kind of suffered an unfair burden as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this all came about, I don't know if you know about the history about this, but this all basically came about with respect to the health of the lake and the issue with the HAB and the concern that the septic systems may be impacting and so forth. So all the mayors in all the towns basically got together and started to, pull whatever they could for the sake of the lake to try to make things, better. And with that came the project to Hudson Avenue. We weren't knocking on doors looking for this to happen. It just came our way. And frankly, I remember the day that they first proposed it and I spoke against it and I didn't want to do it, but the engineer got up and it kind of made all good sense to me. It made good sense to me because I want to be a good steward to the lake, and I think a lot of my neighbors do as well. And we were willing to take that financial jump to try to protect the lake and so forth. But the thing is that, you know, a lot of things happen with this project. And there's only approximately 50% of the people that are going to have this pump system put in. Only approximately 50 is actually accomplished. And with that said, we were victimized by, I don't know how to explain it other than to say a rogue contractor who disappeared with a lot of our money. There are people on the block that have a lot of financial difficulties as it is already, and they had thousands of dollars taken from them and disappeared, and it's in a court system now. So, you know, you're all well aware of it. All I ask is that the mayor, the council, you know, act in good faith and understand the hardships that we suffered and try to work with us. That's all. That's all we want is, you know, just give us a little bit of leverage and give us an opportunity to make it all happen. And, you know, I don't know what to say beyond that, other than, you know, we're at your mercy, but we understand that you're a new administration and so forth, but please work with us. You know, I mean, again, we didn't ask for the project. It basically came our way. We wanted to be a good steward of the lake and so forth. We understand that we have the financial obligations to do what we have to do, but, you know, try not to discourse from what the original agreement was if it's possible. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, motion to bring it back?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I just have a few comments. I do want to mention that at the senior meeting last Thursday, while we were meeting with Congressman Kane here in this building, Senator Parker Space was at the senior citizen meeting, which was wonderful to have that representation from the state of New Jersey and the Borough of Hopatcong all in one day. I do want to mention anybody who went to the Lake Hopatcong Gala that they actually raised over $100,000 for the Lake Hopatcong Commission. I'm sorry, for the Lake Hopatcong Foundation. And thank you to everybody that was there. I will keep reminding everybody that our 9/11 ceremony will be a candlelit ceremony at 6 p.m. at Fireman's Park, which is directly behind me here. Our municipal calendar, we're going to start working on our municipal calendar for 2025 in September. So if you belong to groups and organizations, please get me all of your information for all of your new events for 2025. I will say that Governor Murphy is coming to the lake this month. They haven't announced to us which date that's going to be, but he apparently meets with the mayors on the lake. So I will let you know what happens from that. I do want to congratulate Sergeant Ed Janosko. I've known Ed since I was 6 years old. It's a shame that he's retiring and I'm not. Sussex County.
this.
I know, I chose this. Sussex County Day, as Rachel mentioned, is Sunday, September 15th. We are trying to make a greater presence in Sussex County with Hopatcong and letting them know that we're here and that we are part of Sussex County, even though they think we're part of Morris. So I've tasked Councilwoman Rodriguez to work with Councilman Smith on our space that we have to design and what we're going to be doing for Sussex County Day. So I hope that you're going to join us there so that we can all see what Rachel comes up with, which will be very interesting.
Lots of glitter.
Yes. I, of course, want to congratulate Angeline Cardy and all of our winners that we had for our contest. Thank you to John Young for doing that for us. I do want to thank our Board of Ed president who came tonight, Nicole Falcone Schubert. It's not very easy to stand up in front of a room full of people and tell people information that they really do not want to hear, but that information they need to hear because it's important, and it's important to make sure that everybody has the facts. Our bronze award winners tonight were fabulous. They were so cute. We do have some, we have one gold Girl Scout that's coming soon. I'm really excited about that. Tomorrow is senior day at the fair. Anybody that's available, as Councilman Hoferkamp mentioned, our 2 seniors of the year will be at the fair competing. We have a very good chance this year from what I understand. I do want to thank you for all of the positive feedback for the removal of the bushes over in Modoc Park. The emails, keep them coming in because the positivity is fabulous. It's the simple things that people suggest. It's the simple things that happen. It's just that little bit of attention that you pay to detail. Like the administrator was saying, just some interesting things like some paint coming into the hallway here, you know, and some lighting, what a difference that makes, because we all live here. We should all be proud of being here. And any of the suggestions, you can keep them coming through email because I appreciate them. And even the critiques, I'm good with those too, because those are beneficial. I have nothing else. If you want to do a motion to adjourn.
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming.